Hey guys, Blue Life here, and today I'm reviewing Star Trek V: The Final Frontier. Now, this movie is considered to be the worst Star Trek film ever made. And, I have to say, I definitely agree. It's not a good film at all, and I'll get to the reasons for that in a minute. But first, let's talk about the story. Now, not going to be too in-depth with the story, but the basic premise is that a Vulcan by the name of Sybok takes these three ambassadors hostage on the galactic planet of Peace in order to steal a starship, which happens to be the Enterprise, under command, of course, of Captain James T. Kirk and his crew. But Sybok wants the ship so he can cross through the Great Barrier, which is at the center of our galaxy, because he believes through that barrier is Shakari, and he's hoping there he will meet God, because Shakari is supposed to be like a paradise. It's supposed to be Eden, kind of him, and because Sybok's gotten these visions, and he thinks they're from God, so he wants ultimate knowledge. He wants to meet God. And since Sybok is Vulcan, he's learned how to use his kind of telepathic powers to, I think he calls it like releasing their pain. And so this is how he gets people to help him out. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the basis of the story. And at its very core, the story is fairly sound. I mean, it really does harken back to what the original series of Star Trek is all about, of exploring the unknown, of answering, the mysteries about the universe. And with that, I like it. And, but, a lot of people say that the reason Star Trek V is so bad is because William Shatner, because he actually directed this film. Because Leonard Nimoy got to direct the last two. So he decided he wanted to direct on this one. And, a lot of people blame him, and I think that is not true. That's not the reason why the movie is so bad. William Shatner, he did help develop the story. It was his initial idea about finding God. But, he was really stuck between a rock and a hard place throughout the filming of this. I mean, the studio kept slashing the budget, and honestly, I think probably his only mistake was thinking too big, because he wanted the movie to end in this big climactic battle where Kirk faced off against these like 10 Rockman guys. They were made of rock, and they just didn't have the money for that. So they really had to work with what they had. But honestly, in my opinion, the really bad thing about the film is the script. The script is just awful. I think that the studio was pushing to add more comedy into the film since it worked so well in Star Trek 4. But there was just too much, and they just were putting jokes in there just to be funny and not, really adding to the plot with it. And there's some really bad jokes in there, like, but there are still some jokes that work fairly well. And another problem is I don't think the characters are really acting like themselves in the film. There's one scene where Sybok has taken Kirk and his crew hostage, and there's a chance where Spock can grab a gun and shoot the guy, and Kirk just yells out, "Shoot him, Spock!" like that. And it's just, whoa, man. You know, I just think that might have been just a little out of character, and just, I don't know. It just seems to me that the writer focused on like kind of the main characterizations, like Spock is alien, so he focused more on Spock being kind of weird and just alien-like, and McCoy, as a doctor, he worries all the time. So more or less, all the lines McCoy has, he's just worrying about people, and so I just think, and as I was saying about the jokes, there was one joke with Scotty that really does disservice to the character, I think, where he's like, I know this ship like the back of my hand, and then he starts walking down a corridor and hits his head on a bar that he could clearly see, and then just falls down, knocked out, and it's just like, come on, Scotty's cooler than that, doesn't deserve that. So yeah, I mean, really, it's just the script that is the main issue here. And honestly, the special effects aren't all that great either, but they're decent. I mean, as far as the guest cast they got in here, Lawrence, I think what's his name? It's Lawrence Luckinbill. I actually do think he does. It's a very good performance by him as Sybok. So I think he does a good job. It's just not written that well. But that being said, there are some good things. As I said, some of the jokes do work fairly well, and but other than that, there's really not much going for this film. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to give the story a D+ on this. As far as picture quality, really the same as the others. So C+. And as far as special features go, let's take a look. From the original collector's edition DVD, we have a commentary by William Shatner and Liz Shatner. You also get Harv Bennett's pitch to the sales team. You also get The Journey, a behind-the-scenes documentary, making-of featurette. You also get makeup tests, pre-visualization models, Rockman and the Raw, which is really cool footage of the original idea of the climax for the film, where Kirk was going to fight a bunch of Rockman. They could only afford to make one costume for the Rockman, and this is just a bit of test footage. And actually, the Rockman costume doesn't look that bad. So it's definitely worth checking out. Then you get Star Trek V press conference, which was held on the last day of shooting on the set. You get Herman Zimmerman, a tribute, celebration of the production designer. Let's see, you get original interview with William Shatner on location and filming. You get Cosmic Thoughts, where astronomers, physicists, and author Ray Bradbury talk about the connections between science and spirituality in Star Trek. You have that Klingon couple, A Green Future. Let's see, you also get deleted scenes, production gallery storyboards, theatrical trailers, which are in HD, and TV spots. Now, for the Blu-ray exclusive, you get an audio commentary by Trek experts Michael and Denise Okuda, authors Judith and Garfield Reese Stevens, and visual effects artist Darren Docherman. Then, as always, you get the library computer, which is a neat mode where if you have that on and they talk about like warp drive or phasers or anything like that, it'll come up in the top right corner, and you can click on it and it'll give you the definition. So good if you're not a huge Star Trek fan. Let's see, you get Star Trek Honors NASA, Hollywood Walk of Fame, James Doohan, where it's just footage of him getting his star on the Walk of Fame. Then you get the Starfleet Academy SciSec brief, Nimbus 3, which is the planet of galactic peace. I've talked about these before. That they are fluff pieces, as I've said, but they're kind of neat. And then of course you get the Star Trek IQ, which requires BD Live, where you can take fan-made quizzes and make your own. So for the special features, I'm going to go ahead and give it a B+, which brings the overall grade for Star Trek V: The Final Frontier to a C+. Till next time, guys.